Brian knows I'm like incessant about the follow-up and making sure that all the fittings are pressure tested, making sure everything's working perfectly.
Yeah.
And then he even gave me a drip pad to put underneath there so that if it does ever leak, it's good.
I love that.
Yeah, something at some point, a garbage disposal or a dishwasher, something's gonna leak.
Yes.
Yeah. And we see it all the time. Almost every inspection, there's some sort of water damage.
Right? There was a leak in the past. There is a current leak. Yeah.
That one's hard to fix. So you gotta take everything out, pull the board out. So you're like a $20 mat.
I think it goes like to anything of just like overall maintaining your home. Yeah. And oftentimes prevention is way more affordable than repair.
For sure.
So maintaining those items in your home on a regular basis, like I had my roof inspected one of my properties recently, and the guy was like, oh yeah, you need this repair. He's like, Janine, if you wouldn't have done this and it rained, like you would have had a way more expensive repair. So thank goodness I had that regular maintenance and they were able to catch it. I think of ACs is another one. If you service your AC, we recommend twice a year. That will extend the life of the unit significantly. And I think it's probably the same for any of these other things, like the importance of it, but people don't value it.
Well, the good thing is people, I think most people know that you need to change your RO filters at least, right?
Sure.
Once a year.
So yeah, give
if
us
they
some
remember, right?
Yes.
That's the hard part.
It is.
I know in my house, like I have to remember to change the air filters.
Yes.
I have to remember to get my roof inspected.
Yes.
And change everything in the house while running a business, coaching football and everything else.
I'm sure there's a really good app or something that you could that's out there that we can just plug this stuff in and it'll send us reminders.
Well, that's what's awesome because you offer a subscription service, right? So you take care of it so we as homeowners don't have to remember, you remember for us.
We remind you and then we show up and we get it done and we make sure you're 100% and take off. And I mean, air filters, right, are gonna, if you don't change those, it's dramatic for your health.
For sure.
Water especially. I mean, if you are living in a house in Arizona these days with all of the building and all of the new builds going on and you don't have treated water in your home, like you're actively doing bad things.
You're drinking some bad stuff. So they're gonna hear about it in the videos coming, but let's talk about it. Yeah. So Arizona water is rough. How rough?
Like, well, I originally it was 8th worst in the country, but now there's a new study that came out that said that our tap water is the worst in the entire country.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, Why is that?
It's the water hardness is really high, so that's going to impact your plumbing, your skin, just the overall feel of the water. But we have really high levels of chlorine here because we're treating that water. So you got to think Arizona doesn't have a lot of natural water, so we're pumping it in from the Colorado River through SRP. We're using our groundwater. Now they're starting to repurpose wastewater. I don't know if you saw that get slipped in a couple of months ago where they say, hey, we're doing a couple percent now, but by 2029, we want to bump it to like 10% repurposed wastewater. So you know what that is, right?
I don't want to know.
But to get it from water out of the ground that we don't have a lot of to where it's in your pipes, they have to treat it. So we used to work in those treatment plants. So they send it through a giant RO. They're having to filter it, but then they're adding a bunch of chemicals. And so by the time it makes it to your tap, I mean, I'm in houses in Queen Creek where the tap water is testing higher in chlorine than my pool.
Wow.
That's insane.
And you can smell it.
Well, when we were actually talking about this, because of the window cleaning company, we're paying attention to the quality of the water, right? Yeah. And so I have all these little testers, and you're supposed to have 0 to 50 parts per million for ideal drinking water, right? Yep. And out of my kitchen sink, it was 370. Just out of that.
And that's low.
The RO. Yeah.
That's low.
We've seen 600 something.
Yeah, and then
out of like the spigot
and that's
outside.
on not even everything else that's in the water. I mean, now everyone's starting to come around to the idea of like the forever chemicals that are in the water, phosphates, fluorides, whatever people want to take out. The only way to get that stuff out is RO. You can't just normal standard filter it out. A softener is not even going to do it. If you want to get all of those terrible things out of the water, you have to use an RO, which means you have to maintain it.
Right.
Yeah.
Was where we started, right? You have to get it done and have a professional look at it.
So let's say you have a softener in your house. So it's a whole home water softener system. So it's going to protect your appliances, your shower water on your skin and your hair, and whatever else, right? How often does that need to be looked at?
I generally say every couple of years.
Okay.
So there are a lot of companies that want to come out once a year and check just the water softener. If you have an RO, I'm going to be there anyway. If
Yeah.
you're doing salt delivery, I'm going to do it. Every time I'm on property, I check everything and test the water. But if you just have a water softener every couple of years, generally you're going to know. Like if you're used to soft water, then all of a sudden you forget to put salt in it or something goes sideways, it's going to feel different right away.
Yeah.
But for good peace of mind, every couple of years, have a professional come out, do a once over, make sure everything's working fine. They don't last forever.
Yeah. So you need to have a whole home water softener system and a separate RO system, right?
Correct.
In almost every case.
So in most cases in Arizona, the only unfiltered water in the house past the water softener is the cold water in the kitchen. So they don't run that on the softener line. So even if and that's generally where your fridge water is coming from. So you can have a softener, but that's generally not even going to be filtered.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say overall are just some like good practices, like good habits to maintain these things?
You have to keep salt in it.
Okay.
If you have one of the salt-based systems, like you absolutely need to keep salt. They'll run, I just tell people like 10 to 15 years. Like in Arizona, for everyone that lives here, like 10 to 15 years out of any appliance is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding.
But I've seen units that are 2 years old, 3 years old that we're pulling out that aren't under warranty because you don't keep salt in the tank. So either call me and I'll do it for you, right? Or set a reminder for yourself once a month. Go out there and check it, make sure that it's using it, and then make sure that you're keeping it full. And that's the biggest thing with the whole home treatment systems.
So speaking of salt,
Yeah.
part of one of your services is to deliver the salt and actually put it in the system.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Which is what when we first met, you were telling me about it, or shortly after that, and I thought that's all you were doing is just have a subscription for salt. And I'm thinking, well, I'll never use that because I'll lift it myself, right?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that cannot,
Sure.
or don't want to, or don't have the time to, don't want to mess with it, right? Because you got to go to the store, you got to buy all this stuff, and pack these big old, what are they, 40
Yeah,
pounds?
40 or 50 pounds.
40-pound bags of salt. I mean, if my wife's carrying 2 of those, that's almost her entire body weight. Like, that's just not,
For sure.
not ideal. So that's
Yeah.
a pretty cool service.
Yeah, and then we have a wireless salt sensor too that we install on the tank, so it's Wi-Fi connected. You get an app to be able to see your salt level. I know it's super exciting stuff for homeowners to check their salt level,
Yeah.
but when it starts to get low, it lets you know, and then you can schedule a delivery through the app. So it's no guesswork. We can set you up on time delivery, but most of our clients are using that salt sensor now.
So what happens if they don't keep salt in it? Like, what's the...
Thank you for watching the episode. You know, our podcast is called The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. And I love sharing these real life stories, but we are also in the real estate business. And so if you have any real estate needs, maybe you're thinking about buying or selling or wanting to invest in real estate, we would love to help you.
Yeah, so I mean, at that point, so many things go wrong. Like the control valve itself, like an issue like you had, that'll happen after a year, right? Not after like 3, 4, or 5. The resin inside of the water softener will get caked up with hard water and you won't be able to recover it. And then you're at a point where you're having to take the valve off, you're like pulling the whole system out, pulling everything out, and it starts to get really expensive. And like any appliance that you buy, the one thing that's gonna void it is hard water. Like whether that's a dishwasher or fridge or literally anything, hard water is gonna void a warranty. So if you don't keep salt in it, you know, some of these people are investing, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in the system, and you're gonna have to pull it out in 2 years and make that investment again.
Yeah.
Or don't do it
Yeah.
and have all of that terrible stuff in your water in the house.
Yeah. So you've been doing this for a couple of years now. What are some of the lessons that you've learned as an entrepreneur, business owner, all of that?
Answer the phone and show up.
Oh, isn't that amazing, right? We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
That is so basic, but it is so huge, and so many people don't do it, and I don't understand how they stay in
It's
business.
unbelievable.
If it is really hard as a small business to get anywhere ranked on Google. So if someone does find your information and they call you and you don't answer the phone, they already are calling you because they called 3, 4, 5, 10 other ones and they didn't answer. So it's like your one opportunity to do it. And then when you do, answer the phone. And what I tell other people that want to start businesses, if you actually care, like fundamentally care about your client, care about what their problem is, you help them solve it, not in some like slimy sales guy way.
Yeah.
And then you show up on time, clean, and do what you're supposed to do. It's hard to not be successful.
So I want to talk about that piece a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you shared an example of one in my neighborhood
Okay.
where you went above and beyond and you didn't have to do that.